And I'm back at it once again with another video. Yesterday, I obviously, from what I was saying, was not doing too hot in my brain waves. Just a little bit sad. Just a little bit sad. That was okay, you know? Sometimes a little bit sad. Sometimes I'm a little bit sad. But, you know, you can only do what you can do about it. I'm not doing this for other people. I'm not doing it for validation. I'm doing this for me, for Marco in the future from now, so he can look back and be like, I did it. I studied and I did it. Just as I'm looking back to when I signed up and moved here to Saskatoon, I did that. Past Marco, he did it. He took the first step, and now the baton's with me, and I'm taking the next steps. So that felt very Summer of George right there in the head. But, you know, like I said, I was talking to my roommate last night, and he was like, you're doing it. You're gonna look back and you're gonna be like, I did that. So, yeah, that's just what it's about. It's about what you gotta do. But now onto like other things. My face, I don't know why. I am just breaking out. Maybe stress, because that's all I can really think of, because other than that, I don't know. I don't know why. Like, ooh, a little chilly today, so maybe I'll have to wear a sweater. But yeah, like I said, a little stressed. I have such cute sweaters I could wear. Since I'm wearing my all blue fit, I think I gotta wear one of my like blue sweaters. Whew, this stuff is cold. It's chilly. It's cold. And I like the cold, but right now I'm just applying it to my face. I'm like, woo! It's like hopping in the shower and the cold air turns on. You're like, ah! But yeah, so, ooh, actually this hand's hot. I don't know. But yeah. What was I just saying? Oh yeah, I have cute sweaters, so I think I'll wear blue sweater, but I have these really, no, those more colorful sweaters would be better with the black pants. Yeah. Yeah. But it'll probably be like 2 months from now by the time I get to those in the roster. I used to be able to cycle through my pants and shirts like in a matter of a couple weeks. But now it takes a couple months to like get through my full rotation of clothes. Just because like I have them on like, it's like a conveyor belt. Like I just keep moving them forward a little bit. But yeah, so it'll take me a couple months to like get through all of them. And I think the black pants are closer to the back right now. So yeah, we'll see how long it takes me to get through those. Ooh, la 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 la. Yesterday I went to my friend's place. I think I talked about that. They got a new cat and he is so handsome. He is white with that like light creamsicle orange as well. And just like in a very nice pattern. And he has such big little paws. He is so cute. And just like a very handsome face. Like he's a very handsome kitty cat. He's not a kitty, he's a cat. He's 6 years old, but all cats are kitty cats. But no, like some cats, they just have like weird face shape and you're like, oh yeah, cute. But he is handsome. He's got like the good like nose, the proportions, like he's just a good cat. Like you could have him at like a little meet and be like, yeah, this is a good cat. So that was like good to see. He was very shy, but he was very like okay. Like he kind of like would just stand in the living room when I was there and I'm like, you're in a brand new space and I'm a brand new person and I am a large man. Animals know that and they typically are anxious around that. So he was just hanging out in the living room and he was a little more scared of their other cat because like they've been doing the thing where they kept them in separate rooms and now like they keep the cat that's been like the other cat on a leash in the living room because he's so good, so he'll stay away and just like look at her and she'll just be like little angst. But so yeah, they're just kind of like getting used to each other first like in opposite spaces and now they're letting them get used to each other being like in separate parts of the room. So soon they'll be great together and I hope so and I can't wait because I want to hold him because he was so big and by like the end of the night he was coming up and rubbing up against me and I was able to pet him and scratch him and like just like really just I love animals. I don't really want to get an animal while I'm living in the city or in a house because the thing about I just don't like the cat hair or like the hair, the shit, the shedding, the piss. And then with like dogs, like you gotta be able to like give them consistent walks. And like I've never really bought a dog before, because I don't want to do that. I don't want to like have to go on consistent walks. I'd much prefer have a dog out in the country where they're just outside all the time. I don't got to worry about puke, poop, or pee in the house. And like if they do, like, and when we bring them in when it's like cold out, you bring them into the garage. You don't like bring them into the house, or you bring them into like the front patio. You know, like they just don't go in the house. Like on special occasions they come into the house and then it's fun. Like I remember back at our old house, we had Marama, which is like a Great Pyrenees but smaller, and she was just a great dog for us. She was pretty aggressive to other people, but yeah, Ukrainian Christmas would come around and we would bring her in, and my dad would like lay straw under the table and she would lay under the table, and we would all have food, and he would give her like the T-bone from the steaks, and it was just like, it was like, oh my god, the dog's in the house. Of course there were times when the dogs were just running. I remember one time we cleaned the entire house, and well, we as in majority was by my mother and the rest was by us kids. She handled the brunt force of the cleaning, and so she just finished cleaning and we're leaving for like the people to come view our house. And our dog Skeeter, now he was like a Great Pyrenees. He was big, and he was just rolling around in straw, and like he was like a mess. And he ran inside and just tracked it into the main bedroom and hopped up on my mom's bed. And mom was like, oh my god. So she was not pissed, she was just like, of course. And so, you know, you gotta get him out, you gotta quickly vacuum clean the bed, and like, she loved that dog, and like Skeeter loved her, and they were just like, she cried when we had to move, and she hugged him goodbye, and yeah, we'd see him on the road sometimes because he was a little dickhead who would like run up into the road and like juke cars. So it's like, you little freak. That's how you die. So you don't want to do that, but yeah, he was such a little turd sometimes. But, you know, yeah, that was just kind of life. But, no, he was a good dog. But yeah, I don't want to get a dog until I live back out in the country. And if I were to get, like, a cat, I don't care if it's a boy or a girl cat. Cats are usually very, like, demure. They aren't popping a little lipstick rarely. And, like, when they do, I remember I saw that once on a cat, and I was like, oh! Ruined my perception of cats. I was like, they're disgusting. And dogs, I just hate it when like you're petting them and it's like, you just gotta go away. So with female dogs, you don't worry about that. You give them belly rubs, they're just like hanging out and they're fine. Boy dogs, you can't really do that. So yeah, girl dogs, so that when I'm just like, I don't gotta worry about getting jabbed. Yeah, it ruins the fantasy that like animals are perfect pure beings and they don't do anything. So that, I don't like my fantasy being ruined, okay? They're godly beings that don't have those emotions. I just read a poem in poetry class where it was talking about like the angel, it was like angels looking down at humanity, like that we're having intercourse and being disgusted, like what they saw as they were up in heaven, braiding their golden hair. And playing in puddles of like pure like golden water or whatever. I don't know. But it was just like emphasizing how beautiful they are and how they were disgusted with seeing humanity do this abhorrent thing. And it's like, that's how it kind of feels when you see like your animal with their wang in the wind and you're like, put that thing back where it came from. You're not supposed to have one of those. So yeah, it ruins the fantasy. It ruins the illusion. And it's just like, okay, well, fun's over. So, yeah, girl dog. But like, I've been really loving German Shepherds too. So it's like, my favorite dog was Great Pyrenees, of course, because we've had them forever. And then we got our German Shepherd and she would puke everywhere. And she had such bad stomach issues. We eventually figured out, like, we went to the vets and we got her on medication. We got her specialty dog food. None of that worked. You know what did work? People food. So if that's to say anything about like kibble and everything. Yeah. So people food was the big main issue. And we were like, so then we switched her, not people food. People food was the solution. Just dog food and kibble was the problem for her sensitive stomach. So we ended up just buying like from the wholesale big tubes, like this big. Like I have like a video of one of them on my TikTok where I'm like pretending it's a stupid thing. But so we would buy that and divide it into like half cups, and we would give her a half cup for breakfast and a half cup for dinner with her kibble, of course. So we'd cook it up, sometimes raw when we were like away from the house and didn't have a stove, or like just throw it in there raw. She can eat that. She was fine. She dewormed and stuff, but still, stopped puking almost entirely. She like was no longer puking after like having that for breakfast and dinner. Half a cup, so like a cup a day. Half a cup for breakfast, half a cup of dinner with her kibble. And she held everything. She held her food down. So yeah, if your dog is vomiting uncontrollably and you can't really stop and they have bad stomach issues, just buy like a tube of hamburger or like whatever cheap meat you can. Like honestly, anything is like people graded is better than like dog grade. So, but like do like mix that with their kibble, because their kibble has like other nutrients and stuff, unless you're like substituting with like, you know, those people on like animal TikTok where they're like making their animals food from like raw ingredients like chicken feet, sardines, sardine oil, pumpkin, actual meat, bone, like stuff like that, where they're like legitimately using like food grade items. That's I guess the only point where you wouldn't need to do that. But yeah, so that's what we did for her and it worked. So then she died last year, or this summer, I guess. So that was sad, but we loved her. And she was my brother's dog, but my mom was taking care of her since my brother went to the military, and then she just stayed with my mom. We asked a bunch of times, like, Ty, why don't you take Coda back? And he's like, like it's good like that she's there because she can protect mom. And it's like, she was good protection. Like people like would not really like come up to our house because Coda had such a strong bark. She could bark like no one's business, if you know what I mean. She would just be like, like, and she was like a small dog, but she had such a big like chest and upper body that she looked large. Like she would fluff it up and just be like, big dog, big dog. She had big bark, big bark. Speaking of barking, a sad thing, we inherited a Chihuahua. My mom worked at a care home and a lady had a Chihuahua, very obese. This woman only fed that Chihuahua like stuff from the fridge. So I was saying like food grade items like hamburger and like chicken meat stuff. This woman was giving it cheese and sausage. So high sodium content. I dare. This Chihuahua was an ottoman. You could pet him and your hand would be like this. He was fat. And so when we got him, well, we're not gonna feed him cheese and meat, so we put him on kibble. He did not eat for the first 3 days, and then he started eating the kibble. And the blowout this little dog had would Mom woke up one morning, and it's like, you know that scene from Malcolm in the Middle where you just hear Lois in the background going, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God," and it's like. That's what it was like for my mom to wake up and for me to hear like all of a sudden this like crescendo of shock and awe and disbelief. And I just thought it was so funny. And I came out and it was a literal shit storm. There was poop on the floor, on the wall, like splat, like sprayed, like you had a little gun. You're like, like this Chihuahua had a blowout. He had a Brazilian blowout, but from the other end. It was crazy. And then he started dropping weight like no one's business. Like he is now just the most fit little man you have ever down there see. And he has so much energy and he had such a sluggish look about him before. Like his colors were off and yellowish. He had like constantly droopy eyes. Like he just wouldn't open them fully. He was just very much lethargic and not very like alive, it looked like. So after he dropped all that weight, he was perked up. His fur looked a lot more like snowy white now with like he still had some yellow spotches and like streak down the back, but he was so much lighter and his eyes were fully open and his ears were just constantly up and he was alert and he could like, Mom remembers the first time he was able to like leap up onto the couch or leap off of the couch and she's like, he's doing it, he's active. And mind you, he was abused in his previous home. So when we got him, he was not barky, he wasn't bitey, like he was just the most like little well-behaved dog. He did growl at Coda because Coda would be playing with her ball and it would roll over behind Aichi's bed and she would just walk up to him and just stare at him. And he would growl and then eventually he'd leave his little bed and like toddle off and she would go and get the ball and leave. Or there'd be times where he would sleep in her like big German Shepherd bed because he had a little bed, like Chihuahua size bed. And so he would sleep in Coda's and Coda would go and sleep in his. She would like curl up into this little ball. Like it was like a muffin top, and like the little bed was the muffin. It was so cute. Of course, she was like, that chihuahua was in my bed, so I'll find somewhere else to sleep. Mind you, she's like 60 pounds heavier than this chihuahua, but it was just so funny and like comical. But yeah, what was I at with this? Oh yeah, so then he lost all his weight and he just was so like skinny and taut, except for his penis. The loose skin from where it used to hang low didn't snap back quite yet, so that thing would just dangle, and so you'd be petting him and you'd graze and you're like, oh. Or he'd walk and it would like just flip from side to side. And now though, his skin has tightened back up, so it is just like tucked right back up against his belly, so like it's fine, but it's just like, ah! You just can't pet him in peace. But yeah, the thing about barking is he never knew when to bark. Like I said, he was abused, so he didn't bark at all. And so like when Coda would start barking, he would just like get up and alert and look around. And then eventually he started like he had to relearn how to bark. So at first it would be yelps like, "Arr, arr, 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 ee!" like stuff like that. Eventually it turned into like he could bark, and he would go going Coda, bark, and then look at what was happening. But now that Coda passed away, he doesn't bark, like he doesn't have that cue to bark anymore. So now that Coda's not there to bark when something like is alerted, because he would only bark when Coda started barking. That was his cue, like, oh, she's barking, so I'll bark now. So now you come into the house and it's just quiet, like you don't hear barking at all. He's just kind of in his bed, and once you've been walking around, he'll realize you're there. So that's kind of a little like sad thing. He's a senior dog now. He's like 17, I think. I don't know how long he's gonna live, because now that he's like a healthier, because Chihuahuas can live up to like 20 something. But his organs probably sustained damage or like cholesterol issues that are in his blood from being more obese. So I don't know how long he'll live. It's hard to tell because we haven't been consistent for his life. So like ever since he's been to us, he's been on a diet and a healthy weight and getting more exercise. But before, the majority of his life, like up until he was 15, he was obese. He was like abused and like ripped on his like his like ribs were so sore you couldn't really pick him up the first like year we had him. So like yeah, lots has changed, so we just don't know where like how his life expectancy is at this point, where it is at this point. So what happens, anyone's guess. We'll just have to see. But yeah, he's a good puppy. He's a very good puppy. Now that I'm finished my sunscreen and I kind of tufted up my hair, I'm using Invictus once again. Very sexy. What's that guy on TikTok? He's that scent guy. He's so like. At first, it was just very like cringe, but now I think he's played into that. Like, but people watch him because it's so like it's funny cringe. But people, I think, made so many memes, and he started making memes of himself too, where he's like, when your friend comes over and asks if they can use a spritz of your most expensive cologne, and it's just him in his jacket like spraying it non-stop, and then being like, thank you, and then walks away. And it's like such a funny meme. But anyway, yeah, this one, it's the one that like I've been told smells like I always spray it on my neck because I'm like, oh, just get a little bit like, but it dries out your skin. So a little distant shot, shimmy into it. Oh wait, we're close there. Does it still? Oh yeah, it's on autofocus. I just hate how it has a little square on that screen now. I had it where it didn't have that. It would like, am I blurry here? Yeah, it would just focus. It would follow a face, but now you gotta kind of like move into it. Yeah, I gotta be in the circle. I mean the square. Circle gets a square. But yeah, so I think it smells nice. It's a good smell on me. But yeah, it was good seeing another kitty and petting a cat, and it just makes me like miss like having an animal, but like I don't miss the cleanup. I like what's going on out there, but I like having a clean house, a lot less dander, just my dander from my hair, which I need to get a haircut. I want to get like the sides, like the back, like taken down a lot more, and then this like trimmed and cleaned up a lot more, like shorter. I don't know, like I want it to kind of like look slightly more like my Bitmoji, which like is not going to. My Bitmoji basically has straight hair. It's just like the wavy like feature, but like I like this where it's just like, I have the swoop. I don't want that full like, because it's hard to see in the picture here, but it just looks shorter. Wait, here we go. But it's actually not that short. Like it's still like lengthy, like just to the ears, and like you got like longer bangs, but it's cute. Yeah, that's my Bitmoji, adorable. Super duper cute. But yeah, I don't know. We shall see. It should be good, but you never really know. But that is one thing I'm looking forward to, is like a nice haircut and just restylize it. Because right now it's just bugging me. Like it's at that like point where I cut it last. I think I made a TikTok about that where I just kind of like chopped it off after last summer. And I was like, I want to do a little bit more with it. So this is my more, my demi more with my hair. And it's okay. I don't mind it. But it could be cuter. So I think that's just what I'm gonna wait for. And until then, I guess I just gotta enjoy it what it is right now. I said I was gonna stream more, but I haven't streamed it. I get home and I kind of start studying for a bit, and then I like doom scroll, and then I study some more, and then I go to bed. But I think I really should like stream maybe Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Stream Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because I have like more like heavy classes, do that. So maybe that's where I'm thinking I should be like at with this. I don't know, but yeah, I think that's just kind of what I want to do, because like I want to stream and I want to make a second channel. Maybe I'll do that at some point this weekend. I'll just make a second channel, Margot Belich Gaming, and start uploading little things from that, because that'll be fun. But yeah, you just gotta keep moving and doing something, because I'm like, oh my god, I want to do these things, but I'm like, time management, that's all it's about. Is like, you just study for a while, go to your class, study some more, then do your thing in the afternoon, or like nighttime, because I go to bed at 9:30. Lately it's been getting a little later, which I gotta like really like revert back to better habits. So yeah, maybe stream for like an hour or so, hour and a half, and just like enjoy it, just like thrive. But we'll have to see how that all goes. I enjoy like every part of it though, so especially if it's Pokemon. I always enjoy the Pokemon streaming. But yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Maybe start up another channel, post some gaming content, and just vibe. Because right now I'm studying and vibing, and like part of me's worried. Like I said, that little part of my brain that's like, you're gonna fail, you can't succeed. And I'm like, okay, well, that's just simply not true. Because far dumber people than I have gone to school and fumbled their way through that. So if I am of reasonable intelligence and am trying, you can at least get a passing grade. You're not like going in for like some medical profession where it's like you gotta memorize every single like thing with the human body and what it does and how it interacts with other things in the human body or external factors. It's like, just stop putting so much pressure and importance on these things. Remember, you're doing this for future Marco. He will appreciate everything you're doing now. Every effort you're putting in, he will appreciate. He'll probably forget, but he'll appreciate the outcomes. Because let's think of the things I've done before. Graduated high school. Of course, now I'm like, of course I was going to graduate high school. It's just high school. Like, it's fine. But apply the same stress that I'm feeling now to that, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I passed high school. It's like, well, you didn't try, but you still passed it. So be proud of that. Be proud of the fact that you graduated high school. Be proud of the fact that... Okay, now I'm really drawing a blank here. You got your license. That was like a big thing at the time. You got your license, and now you just drive everywhere. You don't got to worry about it anymore. So think about that, is when you'll have your degree, you won't even worry about it anymore. You'll just be second nature, like, oh yeah, I got this degree, like, it got me this job, and I got this pay. Because I talked to people who were like almost 32, like in their 30s, and being like, yeah, like I'm thinking about I should go back and get like more education so I can get like a better pay. And it's like, yeah, do it. I didn't judge them for their age because they're thinking about their future and why they're doing that, just as I'm thinking about my future right now and why I'm doing this for my future. So, you know, just worry about that. Stop focusing in on other people's opinions, what you think they'll think or whatnot. So, yeah. That's what I'm talking about today. What should the diary be called? What have I talked about? Dear Animal Diary? No, Dear Dog Diary or something. I don't know. Anyways, thank you for watching. Goodbye.